Hey, what's up, guys? It's Q's second channel here again. The last video I made where I broke down the other orchestral piece, the Nascent Requiem. I really like doing that. Showing y'all how I sort of put the pieces together in FL Studio and whatnot. So I figured since I'm kind of, to be honest, I'm kind of bit of a hiatus right now. I'm kind of done composing for a while, doing music stuff. Just kind of burnt out for the most part. Plus, I kind of ran out of pieces to do. So I figured I'd just go back on old scores and sort of go over the instruments like one by one. I guess really just kind of, I'm not too much of a fiend for, or much of a connoisseur of music theory. So I'll try to keep this as streamlined as I can for it to make sense. Anyway. So I guess with this we're going to start. You got this sort of droning kind of trombones that come in. So it's an implied B minor though. There's not really any other notes to suggest otherwise. Well, except for when it starts, it's like a it's not a B major. That doesn't really make any sense. Oh shit, yeah, so I got the launch key mini over here. It makes composing a lot easier. Right, when you're trying to find what notes you're using. So I guess we'll start out. I also got some percussion going on here, like a timpani roll and a cymbal and a gong, I think even. A gong? No, there's no gong. Anyway, let's just hear this. Just the trombones right now. Pretty sure it's also doing the same thing on a tuba. Yeah, it is. Yeah. So and then we start out with this sort of answer question kind of back and forth deal, which is with the horn, trumpet, and the trombone. You can hear that right now when this starts. Listen, let's check it out. Oh, also I've also sort of upgraded from that previous instrument library to this newer one. I had to do some tweaking with the pieces because it didn't really quite sound right, but I think it sounds a lot better. It sounds a lot fuller, more versatile. Let's hear it. You got the trombones. Yeah, and that's sort of like a bit of a counter. Can't quite think of the word. Like a countermeasure? No, not a countermeasure. I don't know what I'm trying to say. Anyway, but out through this, you saw that that droning B minor, B flat minor. Yeah, so I guess, and then it ends up going into the verse. You got the right here. You have another kind of chromatic run in thirds on the woodwinds. Let's pull it up here. It's right here. Yeah, it does that dealio. Kind of adds some tension. Sounds a little crazy because the theme is to basically your theme of like a demigod kind of figure in the game. So it's all crazy, a lot of anger in the orchestra, but I think it conveys well. So let's hear just all instruments on this first measure here. Yeah, and then the piccolo does that chromatic run up again really quick, and then it ties into the next measure right here. And this actually sounds pretty cool on its own. Just the percussion lines played. So you got the bass drum. I added the taiko drum. I'm not sure if it's actually there, but it just adds a little more depth to the percussion lines, as I was saying. So let's hear that on its own. The timpani's going. You can hear it down here. And right there is when it runs up on the violins and it ties it together again. Yeah, let's hear that though. Just on its own. It sounds pretty cool, I think. It sounds a lot better on here too, this newer instrument library. As I was saying, it's just like the Pro XP. It's in Contact here. I'll pull it up and show y'all. It's right here. It's just Contact player, symphonic orchestra, and it's the XP. I'm not sure what difference that is. I think it just adds extra instrument mic kind of settings. Yeah, so let's continue on, and here's the violins. This is just soloed right here. I think I'm actually going to be releasing the MIDI of this so y'all can check it out yourselves. I'm not sure why there's a clarinet doing something right here. I don't know what that's about. Anyway, yeah, and then of course the bass drum's still doing this sort of, oh fuck, wrong instrument, hold up, sort of doing this doo-doo, you know, whatever, doo-doo. And yeah, the snare's still going. Let's hear all this on its own. And throughout this, you still got the kind of the horns kind of ghosting what the chorus would be doing, the choir. You know, yeah. A lot of brass in this piece, though. Let's check this out for a while. Just the trombone and the horn. Let's hear it. And there's this little note that plays kind of out of nowhere. I added it just to add kind of authenticity. And right here you have this bit of a, what is this, like a, I don't know, an F sharp minor 7. I don't know. Hold on, let me check it out. It's on the wood. It's on the oboes and like the clarinets even, but I never added it to the clarinets. Anyway, so you know, it's just this sort of deal. Ooh, it's actually solo that. For some reason I never added it to the clarinets though. I'm not sure. Oh, that's staccato. Okay, well, here's this. Sounds kind of cool, I guess. Played along with everything else. I mean, on its own it doesn't sound too great. And again, still the let's see. Yep. And then it repeats right here. Let's hear it. I'm not sure if you can hear it. You might need a bit of a keen ear to hear, but up top, very high, there's a piccolo playing E along with that. It plays in the first verse. You can actually hear it, but throughout, let's play it right here. I don't know. I kind of heard it in the mix. It's incredibly quiet, but here it is. Oh, whoops, hold up. Because on top of that, you have all this low end, the percussion. You can't quite hear it, but... Tuba's doing something too. Right. That's basically it, though. There's not too many instruments going on throughout this. It's just a lot of noise. Yeah. And then again, it repeats with the violins doing this run up again. Actually, violas too, and cellos. It's just all the strings going, doing this sort of. And it's also in thirds. You can hear it. And it kind of goes out in audio, like gets very quiet. So I just kind of had to kind of come up with what I think would be going on. But yeah, but it sounds good. And right here, there's this sort of break, and right here, there's some crazy thing the harp's doing. I'm not too sure, but there's a lot more going on other than this. This is just about as much as I could do without, like, I don't know. Anyway, let's just. That's that part. That's the that's when the you know, the choir starts getting really freaking loud. Anyway, it's just basically a lot of augmented chords kind of being, then they go up a key, like let me bring this up on my launch key. Fucking hell, I can't bring it up here. Hold up. Horns. No, trumpets. Okay, it's even on the trumpets too, but the trumpets aren't. It's kind of what's playing the thirds because it's going. Ooh, that's way too. And then it's also still on the whole tone scale. I mean, it plays an entire whole tone chord right here, which I'm sure it's called something, but I don't know. I'm sure it has like a name to the chord, but it's just the whole tone scale. Oh, that's actually not it. Hold up. Like, it has like that dreamy sound to it, but it sounds good though. Because then also below that, so it's not just straight up whole tone chords or fucking augmented chords being played. Below that, the horns and stuff are kind of doing a bit of like a bass line almost, making it sound correct. Let's see, just the brass is right here. It's going, right? So, because it's also doing like, right? I mean, it kind of sounds weird on its own, but And still the bass drum and snares are still doing the same thing. You can barely hear the violins. It's very quiet. Let me see if I turn that up, how good it sounds. Sounds alright. And also, along with this, the what are the horns doing? Let's see. So as you can see here, the horns are kind of doing a bit of a, and then some chord like that. It just sounds good, you know. And also with this, you got the let's hear this just on its own though. Actually, I didn't mean to interrupt there. And of course, throughout this, I couldn't hear exactly what notes were being played. I just, like, notation-wise, I had to put down kind of what makes sense, because obviously the horns wouldn't be playing, you know, all the crazy notes the trumpets are playing. They'd be playing more of like the lower notes and fewer of them. Trumpets kind of keep they can go kind of crazy with what they're doing. So you can hear this. Then there's a bit of a crash right there. And then right here is another kind of, it gives off kind of a crazy effect. There's some runs on the woodwinds again, and then just listen. And then back into it, right? And the violins are doing this really weird thing that is very hard to hear throughout the mix. You gotta kind of slow it down. I used Audacity. I slowed it down and kind of, you know, had to mess around with like use like a, what's it called, like an equalizer, like an EQ to kind of bring out the treble and the mids a little more so I could hear this, especially on certain parts. You had to do that, but slow it down also on other parts to hear what's going on, like with these really fast runs. Oh, hold up, let me just let me actually solo that. And yeah, it just sounds, you know, it's really weird. I believe the other woodwinds are also doing something too. Oh, that's something else. Never mind. That's just the runs again. The runs. Anyway. Yeah, so I guess we can now hear this. It's kind of like a bit of a remixed of my previous, you know, the one I uploaded. That, I kind of just remix it into this newer instrument library. So I'm just going to play the whole thing now. Y'all can hear it for yourselves, and I'll turn up my mic. My bad. And then, of course, it restarts the chorus again. Well, you know, the kind of opening instrumental part with the horns and whatnot. The dun, you know, well, you know what I'm talking about. This part right here. I didn't actually finish it. It's actually a little different. The second way through, some instruments are a little different. I just figured, what's the point? I didn't really. I just wanted to get the video out. I didn't quite feel like finishing it. But you know, it's finished enough. I don't think anybody can really tell the difference unless you know it's different the second time around. But it's not too different. It's kind of the same. Anyway, well, that is basically it for the video. If y'all want me to do, like, I don't know, if y'all have any suggestions for anything I could do, you know, anything y'all want me to, you know, like recreate orchestrally or whatever, if you want me to do another one of these videos where I break down the pieces, I guess let me know in the comments. Alright, well, hope you enjoyed, guys. Thanks.